Hey Soul Group, how you guys doing? Welcome back. I want to thank you guys again for your comments, your like. Also, welcome to any new viewers. I'd like to thank you for watching. And after watching, go ahead and comment, like and subscribe. I want to go ahead and say these messages that I'm putting out are not just for Scorpio risings. They're for the whole collective consciousness. However, a Scorpio rising needs to hear these messages, because they were put here to wake up the collective consciousness. There's been a lot of stuff going on in this world during this time, for the last few years, for the last ages, that caused a new shift to come about, or that welcomed a new shift. You see what I'm saying? There was so much darkness, so much evil, so much corrupt people, so much BS going on in this world that we needed a few warriors to be born in this world in order to help wake up everybody. Because when you think about it, there's people out there getting slaughtered, getting murdered. There's people out there being forced into a life where, they don't want to live, or they've been forced to do things, where they don't want to live. There's people right now that's held as prisoners in a world where there should never be a prisoner. You get what I'm saying? There's people right now being held as modern day slaves. There's so much BS going on in this world that it needed to be a shift. It needs to be a change. So what's the best way to bring about a shift or a change? To get some highly elevated beings, from higher dimensions, from different planes, from different worlds, from a place where the state of being and state of living is way better than this, right? So you take those souls and you put them into an experience where they get to experience the true harshness of this world, like firsthand, where they're not just the next door neighbor witnessing it, or hearing it, but they're actually the person that's feeling it. They're the person that's going through that experience. They're the person that's witnessing the darkness. And what happens is when you witness this type of darkness, when you witness this evil, this corruptness at a young age or younger on in life, you start to question the reality that you're in. You start to say, something ain't right here. Question everything. You start to question religion. You start to question how the way the world is ran, the schooling systems. You question everything that's going on in this reality. You start to say, if this messed up thing happened, then is everything else okay? Like, what else is being hidden that needs to be fixed? So you wake up sooner. Waking up is realizing that there is more to this existence than what you've been taught or what you've been told, right? And the quickest way to wake somebody up is to put them through hell. If you were born into a life where everything seemed well, where everything was happy, where everything was good, you wouldn't question that reality because it's conducive to you. You like that reality. You love it. It's sustainable. You're happy. So there's nothing to change. There's no need to shift from that reality that you're in. And soon this world's gonna be in a reality like that, in a golden age. And when you're in a golden age, there isn't gonna be any darkness. There's gonna be any misery, any hate, because those are all things of signs that you need to shift into a different, more positive reality. It's kind of like emotions, right? You experience negative emotions to let you know that you're now on the right path. And that's the same thing when it comes with this existence that we're in. The only reason that the world has been experiencing such trauma is because it was needed for a shift or a change. The only way to shift and change is to get enough people to realize that this isn't how I want the world that I'm living in to be ran. And that's what's been happening, right? And that's what's really been happening with Scorpio risings. Back in the early years, when life seemed good, right? When there wasn't too many people questioning their existence or this reality or looking out for answers because, they were living in a peaceful state. And not a peaceful, the world wasn't peaceful, but there was a lot more people living in a state of joy and happiness in the life that they were living, so they didn't need to question. But back in those days, the Scorpio risings were still born. Scorpio risings were still living, right? So Scorpio rising will still experience this amount of trauma that the world is now experiencing from a get-go. So if a Scorpio rising is experiencing that pain and that trauma way back then, the Scorpio rising was then already waking up. So when it gets to the point of this shift right here, when the whole world is beginning to wake up, the Scorpio rising can then say, hey, I've been through this experience before, and this is how you can go about dealing with it. You've already been through a shift, you've already been through many transformations. So now it's your duty to help the world who's going through a huge shift right now, raise up their consciousness. And that was the whole point of your pain. That was the whole point of your pain, of your hurt, your trauma, your grief, your transformations. Your transformations were put in your life so that you can help others transform when it's time for them to transform. Because right now, with everything going on, the quarantine, people been stuck in their houses, people out of work, all of this is a huge trauma, right? Causing trauma to the world that they've never experienced. And it's put there to transform everybody. This trauma is put into everyone's life to transform them. A Scorpio rising has been going through this transforming energy all their life. So now it's time for you to show the world how to transform, to show the world how to deal with this, to show the world how to deal with this transformation, to show the world how to positively endure the trauma and transform and keep going. Because that's what we do. That's what we've done our whole life. Also, I just want to go ahead and say how important this is to me and what this means to me. Like when I'm talking to you guys right now, in my mind, I see that I'm talking to, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla. I'm talking to Aristotle. I'm talking to Plato. I'm talking to the geniuses of the world. And I know that because I know the energy that you're tapped into, the energy that is a part of your being, just as much as the sexual attraction is a part of your being. And that energy is the Akashic Records. It is everything that has happened, will happen, and can happen. Past, future, present, all in once, right? All in one spot, all in one location, all in one place. Back in the day, like a long time ago, before the world started going on this huge conscious shift and change that we're going through right now, the Akashic Record was only trusted with like mystics, powerful people, spiritual people. So the Akashic Records, due to its huge transformative power that is contained within it, the knowledge of good and evil in its most simplest terms. It's, in a way, it's that apple. It's transformative information, right? So held in the Akashic Records is your life, your past life, your thoughts in your past life, what you did in your future life, what you're gonna do in your next life, everything going on in this life, all your thoughts, everything, you from different dimensions, like what you could have done. You as a millionaire, you as a billionaire, you as a fireman. All of that, what is, what can be, what will be, is held within the Akashic Records. Is the way it comes to a lot of, Scorpio risers and people who don't really know their powers, it may come to you as a thought in your mind or a gut feeling. Somebody calls you up and tell you about a situation they're going through with a person, and you instantly know something to tell that person to help them fix it, or help them fix the situation that they're going through. That's how the Akashic Records can, it's like playing with you. It's giving you knowledge and it's showing you that you can tap into other information that's outside of yourself, And then you start to question that. Then, it goes to you thinking that, you're spiritual, you're wise. And this can take so much power away from the unknown and the unseen, and you know, different people like psychics, because really all that a psychic was doing whenever they were reading your, you know, future or your fortune, was they were tapping into the Akashic Records. They were tapping into your past, present, and future, and just telling you something that you already had the power to do. So this information that comes from the records, you can tell it's from a higher dimension. You can tell that it's out of your body. So the Akashic Records can be tapped into by any individual on planet Earth right now, because we've been tapping into this our whole life. And it's up to you as a Scorpio rising, right, or a person with a lot of that transformative plutonic energy in you, to show the masses how to tap into the energy properly, right, how to handle it. So when you think of the Akashic Records, you can kind of equate it to your imagination. The simple fact that energy cannot be destroyed but only transformed. Everything comes from the thought world, the thought realm. That thought realm is already written about. It's already documented in the Akashic Records. So whenever you think about your imagination, whenever you think about anything you want to put into fruition, you have to know that it is a thing and it already exists. All you have to do is just bring it into this reality. You know what I'm saying? Anything in your imagination that you can think of is real, and it exists. You can bring it into this reality with just enough energy. Your imagination is just as real as anything else. And you can do anything. You can make anything happen. You can think of anything into this world. So Scorpio rising needs to tap into the energy of the Akashic Records all throughout their life. See what I'm saying? And they're trusted with this. So the Scorpio rising is chosen as the one to raise the consciousness of the world, or to at least help and assist in his job. So that means that the Scorpio rising is definitely going to have to be protected, or as others may say, be blessed, or have favor. And one way that is given to the Scorpio rising is the Akashic Records. It's somewhat like assistance. It's help, it's assistance. You know, because we as Scorpio rising get ourselves in tricky situations. You know, we can get in tough situations, and we're gonna need to know how to get ourselves out of it. And sometimes just our minds alone, or our body alone, or what the knowledge that we've attained, it's not enough. There's always a state of being or a room where you can pull for more knowledge. Because the Akashic Records, the answers that you tapped into were already put there for you to get the right answer. So, if you want to manifest good from it, right? Turn your body into a filter of good. Turn your mind into a filter of good. And then pull from your imagination, from that space, what you want that's positive into the world. Again, most things that we know about right now, or that exist, was not created in this reality, but they were pulled from the thought realm. Everything that can be or will be thought of in the thought realm is held within the Akashic Records. So there's many things in this world right now that you can think of, or you can use your imagination to bring about into fruition. But to others, it may seem crazy. Your thought. Whenever, you know, anybody was coming up with any type of invention, when they told the masses about it at first, before they showed, you know, what it could do, you can tap into the Akashic Records to see the future. However, due to the fact that there's multiple different versions of the future that can happen, will happen, and are happening at the same time, we have something called a likely outcome, right? This likely outcome was what the fortune tellers and the psychics were telling you what would happen in your life. Your most likely outcome can shift and change with your thoughts, with the shift of your thoughts. With just the shift of your thoughts. I mean, you can tap into the Akashic Records to ask it information about your life, about your past, about your future, about different moves you want to make. So one way to tap into the Akashic Records is you can get into your meditative state, calm your mind, clear your mind, and just say in your mind's eye, I think I want to access the Akashic Records. I am now accessing the Akashic Records. So what you're doing at that point is you're putting out an intention that you want, And instead of waiting like people did in the past for it to happen, you spoke and claimed that it's already happening. You skip that waiting process. Because what a lot of people do is they believe that you have to put so much energy, work, and effort into things that you want to manifest, but really you don't. See what I'm saying? Like when people dealt with different spells or hexes or voodoo or whatever, a lot of people feel like you gotta grab X and Y and Z, and you gotta get this type of thing and this type of potion and this type of thing. You gotta put it all together. But all that's doing is, what that is just belief and power. So if you need 10 ingredients for a spell, then the person who created that put their belief into it. They put their belief that these 10 things will bring about this outcome, okay? And the other 10,000 people who they told that thing about put that belief into it. So that's 10,000 more power put into the belief of those 10 items is gonna make this outcome. So that's energy and belief put into that. Okay, and then more energy and belief is put into it when it's handed down through generations of family. So that energy is not destroyed, it's just passed on and transformed. So it's still within that one item. So at this point, you got about 2 million people believing that these 10 things, when put together, is going to make this outcome happen. All right? The outcome was already going to happen when the person believed that it was going to happen. But for the simple fact that so many people have believed that it takes these 10 things and they put their energy into it, that's what people believe that they had to do. But you don't have to do all that work. To manifest whatever you want in life, all you have to do is just say it. That's all you have to do. Say that it is, act as it is, and it is. I mean, it is what it is. Granddad used to say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And that's the same thing with life. You can go to school for many years, become a lawyer and make millions. Or you can think of an idea that the world needs that can serve the world and make millions. You can go get a treatment done. You can go get a scientific treatment done to your hair to make it grow faster. Or you can go to the store and buy a concoction that somebody made up and put their energy and belief into to make it grow faster. It's all about energy, power, and belief. And at this point in life, it's time for you to tap into your own power, tap into your own strength, tap into that power that's deep down within you, locked and hidden somewhere. You got to bring that out so that others can see that, so that they can follow suit and do the same. We're in a huge shift right now of consciousness, and it's been going on since December 12th, 2012. Now, people was on a vibe of, we're beginning to shift, we're beginning to change. It's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to us. I mean, we're far out of that now. We're not in the it's gonna happen. It is happening. Everything is happening right now. And with this huge shift going on, you know, people need to know where to pull information from. People need to know that you don't have to look outward for answers. The answers that you seek is always within. So it's your job and your duty to pull within to find those answers and then help transform the world. Because for every person that you transform, that's 10 million people. You know, it's like a domino effect. I want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching and for your support. Please like, comment, and for those who haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you to all the geniuses out there watching. I'm glad to be a part of this shift. I'm glad to be doing it with you guys. So peace, love, and blessings to all.